Just back from IT Nation Secure 2025 and right outside of Orlando. It was a great event. Many vendors, many MSPs, just focused on security. The keynote kicked off and there was 4 people up on stage, a panel, and they were from different companies, not just ConnectWise. ConnectWise is trying to make this community, not just what they offer, but with others as well. But the vendor hall was full. There was lots of great vendors. I was able to have 16 conversations with great guests right there at the resort. I had great guests, great guests. First started with Gene Templin, MSP Sales Reimagined. Gene's in the Pitch It program, the ConnectWise, it's not new, but new for this year, incubator program. Jamie Williams, my friend from a long time ago, marketing before sales. MSPs, are you listening? Oh, Ricardo from Lumu. Yes, my fellow aviator. I've known Ricardo for a couple of years now, and great conversation. Ricardo. Oh, Rayanne, of course, Rayanne from ABC. The name of the episode is From Cables to Closing. Fascinating backstory to Rayanne and what she does now, also in the Pitch It program. Mike Estep from Blackpoint Cyber. Great story from MSP to vendor now. Blackpoint's a great security company, and it was a great conversation with Mike. Mark Balanov, first time I met Mark, really great conversation. Really enjoyed it. Talking about cyber lessons. David Chernitsky, fascinating background from Russia to Israel to Canada to what he knows about the martial arts and everything he learned from the best people in cybersecurity there in Israel. Great conversation. David, Matt Holland, first time I met Matt, great conversation from Spy Tech to MSP Simplicity. Tanner Cookson, fascinating from great company. MSPs getting paid quickly. We talked about rowing, riding, and revenue. Tim Weber, cybersecurity firm now. He's a volunteer firefighter in Connecticut, my home state. Joel Cahill, great conversation with Joel. I've known Joel for quite a while now. First time we ever sat and talked like this. The episode's Cold Plunges, Hot Takes, and Cyber Strategy. But great conversation with Joel. Paul Lupo from Bitdefender. Paul's been around for quite a while, and he has great stories and great insight on the great company that Bitdefender is. David Rasapor from ConnectWise, new CPO. Wonderful insights from David, his background in Iran, and David is just a true engineer. Ozzy Saeed from Compliance, he actually helped write the specs to CMMC. Fascinating conversation with Ozzy and the saltwater fish tanks as well, one of his great hobbies. Sarvash Rao, of course, I've known Sarvash for a couple of months now, really focusing on MSPs, helping those SMBs with his with the security platform. And of course, ended with Matthew Benazari. Great conversation about, started with climbing. He's a great climber, about cyber fires and MSP fortitude there at Arete, and great conversation. Thanks all for being part of this, and thanks everyone for listening and watching.
Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Found myself at 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. I took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People ask me, how'd you do it? What's the secret? I need to lose weight. How'd you do it? How did I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others.
Yeah. Very cool. Prince Edward Island. I don't know. Yeah. I think I may have had some relatives there. What was it like growing up there at PEI?
It's pretty small. I mean, small town. Terrible winters because it's an island on the East Coast, but it was a good spot. I mean, you're not worried about getting mugged or anything like that. It's just very peaceful, and the problem is everybody's in everybody's business. So
a little too.
That aspect of it wasn't great, but it was good.
I say. Yeah. What got you into weightlifting and physical fitness?
I think when my first company, I didn't prioritize that enough, and by the time I had sold it and came over to FieldEffect for full time, because I founded it in parallel, I just said gotta focus on health, gotta focus on things that will matter beyond the professional career. And and
Was there a scare?
No,
for you.
just I could feel myself getting older.
Mm.
And
Around what age, Matt?
38, I think, something like that.
40 is a big number. Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like you're investing in the long term by doing, like, muscle mass is huge. Like,
Yes,
it's
because
such
we
a big
lose
thing.
a lot every year, right?
Yeah. I'm always harping on people over 45. Like, you got to get to the gym. You got to
Yes.
focus on muscle mass. And
Yeah. Even if it's just push-ups, sit-ups, these squats, I mean, at least do something, right?
yeah.
Yeah, real important.
Yeah. Body weight exercises are surprisingly good.
They are. Who is it? There's a big running back for the Bears, Walter Payton. I think that, like, he didn't see a gym till like college.
Oh, wow.
So he like sprint up hills and he would do hundreds of push-ups a day, and it was all body weight stuff. They couldn't afford it, And then we saw these real gyms. It was a change, but like, it does a lot. It helps.
Yeah, my trainer's been really good as well because he gets me to travel with, like, bands and other push-up bars, so I can, even if I've only got like 20 minutes, I can still get a workout in the hotel room, which is pretty convenient.
I have my bands here too. Yeah. At least get a stretch at the very least. Yeah, do something for your body. Yeah. So we're here, Matt, at ConnectWise IT Nation Secure here outside of Orlando. What are some of your goals this week?
Just to meet people. It's always good to have an ear to the ground and listen to the community. What are the challenges that MSPs have? What problems are they trying to solve? How can we as a vendor help them solve those problems? And these types of conferences I love attending because it ultimately leads towards us evolving as a company, as a partner. So just taking the time to listen and learn.
What is your experience with MSPs?
So MSPs are our primary go-to-market right now. We have been doing that, I would say, intently for about 3 years, and perhaps effectively for about 2 years. Because it's a learning process. You have to listen. But yeah, it's our primary go-to-market, and it's the large driver of how we change anything from our product to our messaging to ultimately what we're trying to accomplish as a company. I think that's something that we've consistently learned. The more we listen, the better the outcome will be for us as a company, because we support MSPs, and it's been great.
Had you worked or even heard of MSPs before this?
No, I've just been a giant security nerd, mostly in dark rooms, writing a lot of code. So
I see, back office.
Yeah. But it's when we raised our Series A, we felt this was the most effective way to achieve the company mission, which is to help small to medium businesses. And we brought on a really talented CRO, Tom Paoni, who's got a long background in MSPs. Yeah, and he's taught me a lot and taught us the company a lot.
I met Tom when he was at the backup company. I can't remember the name, but yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Plus, his last name's very similar to mine, Panoni. Yeah.
It's funny. We little short story. The first board meeting, I never actually asked how to pronounce his last name. I pronounced it Pone, and he broke out laughing and corrected me very kindly, which was nice.
So when MSPs are here, and there's lots of security vendors here, what questions should they be asking to find a great partner?
If I was an MSP, I would be asking questions that tied back to my product, my outward product offering that I would be selling to clientele. So how does a vendor fit into that, and from a puzzle perspective? Because MSPs will use multiple technologies and really try to understand how they can achieve the best possible margin. What's the fit look like? What's the support look like? Try to understand the team, the people behind it. Because ultimately you're looking for a partnership, a long-lasting partnership that is mutually beneficial. So whatever factors go into that, that's if I was an MSP, those would be the questions I'd be asking.
You mentioned 3 years, but 2 years effectively. What did you learn about that 1 year lapse about MSPs that you didn't know?
I think the biggest thing was that piece of understanding how MSPs make product, put product together, and go to market. I think one of the best things we realigned as a company a couple of years ago is put a lot of time into trying to understand how an MSP is going to sell or resell our product. So all the decisions we make now, ranging from messaging to what we build, has that in mind. So what are the conversations we've been hearing and a part of that I cannot stress enough how much that actually feeds into the engine that is FieldEffect.
And what surprises you most about MSPs, even today? Is there anything?
I'd say consistently the range of MSPs. Because you can have a small MSP that is created organically by an IT person who just became an MSP at a coincidence or not intentionally, all the way to larger MSPs with much larger visions of national success, and the fact that the range of these businesses all exist in the same community, in the same peer groups is really quite cool, because you get to know a lot of different personalities, a lot of different motivations behind these people, and it's a really cool community that going back 3 years, I wouldn't have predicted that I love it this much, but it's a really cool thing to be a part of.
And what should vendors do better to be partners with MSPs?
Just gotta listen.
Yeah,
Gotta listen. We've chatted with other vendors, and it's if you go into the MS community thinking you know more, or that you have a prescription that they need to follow, you will fail.
right.
You need to just close your mouth and listen and understand what the challenges MSPs have actually are, and what their commercialization goals are, and how do you support that? How do you fit into that? Don't try to say, no, this is how you're going to do it, because that will not work.
And what does FieldEffect do for MSPs? How does it help them?
So we're an MDR company. We've been building technology and product for almost 15 years now.
MDR is?
Managed Detect and Response. So we have a very rich product stack that ranges from a tremendous endpoint, a network sensor, cloud censoring, DNS firewall, email analysis, and we bring that all together in one platform and provide a easy to use interface via an alert mechanism we call an ARO. It stands for Action, Recommendation, and Observation, and it is basically human readable feedback. That is, we like to say false positives are a quick way to get fired in FieldEffect. We do not allow those through. So
false
we try to
positives.
yeah.
Right.
So we try to distill and simplify as much as possible, and bring MSPs as much clarity as we can. Because cybersecurity is obviously a broad gong show of vendors and whatnot, and we try to be the opposite of that.
So are you right or left of boom?
Both. I would say we excel at left of boom. That is notoriously
Manage and detect.
Yeah. We like to stop the attack, contain it, and we invest a lot of time there. But I think we've been getting better at right of boom, because that's something MSPs have asked for. It doesn't always work that left of boom is effective. Sometimes an attack gets through, and I think we've really improved in that area over the past year. That's things like reporting. What's the customer experience look like, and
Yeah, it's just I've been in MSP, since the '90s, and it's just. Are you involved with the peer groups at all with them or anything?
Not directly,
Yeah.
but we have a lot of partners in peer groups, and we've done presentations for peer groups. And,
It's a great community.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great community, and to partner with them can be tricky, but once you kind of understand it, it's worth it.
Yeah. It's just again, close the mouth and listen, and understand the community, the individual business, and the motivations are often common. They just want to be successful business people, right? So, what does that look like for each of them?
Is it common to have the actual MSP use your platform as well as their clients?
It is designed at this point for MSPs.
I see.
So we allow or facilitate the delivery of managed detect and response through MSPs. We can be as engaged or as far as an MSP would want from their customers. Like some partners will help them with their sales processes, their education processes, promotions and whatnot. And others will just say, you know what, we got this. We would like you not to be involved, and that's completely fine.
Matt, has there been anything in the last month or so you changed your mind on?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Small, large, doesn't matter. Anything. Come on.
I mean, we're always adjusting our product roadmap, and we adjusted recently to prioritize remediation as being something that we want to finish up and get released in Q3. Over the years, we've heard different opinions on how important remediation is, be it automatic or manual and whatnot. And we've listened intently that remediation is something that everybody wants at this point. So that has been a reprioritized thing for us this year.
It's funny, I have conversations with vendors, and they're so, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then they talk to some MSPs, like, we're no longer going to do this. Yeah, it's very different because they just have different priorities.
Yeah. Oftentimes, I think the best bets are the things that are as closely tied to commercial activities for MSPs on a broad scale. Yeah.
So I mentioned in the 90s, I started the MSP, and I was working way too hard, and 14, 16-hour days. You're no stranger to this, I'm sure. And then next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor, and she tells me I'm 340 pounds. And she says, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. So it scared the hell out of me. Lost 120 pounds in about 6-7 months, kept it off. People always say, what's your secret? And there's no secret. I always say discipline, right? Yeah. Willpower, focus. How does discipline play a role in your life, Matt?
It's incredibly important. I'm pretty disciplined around my nutrition. Try not to overeat or eat beyond a certain point in the evening. The macros of what I'm putting in my body are really important. Exercise. I am absolutely strict that when I've got windows during the day where I'm going to train, like I will not put a meeting in that slot no matter what.
Wow.
It probably drives people nuts.
Wow.
But when I'm going to the gym and I've got my schedule laid out, it is what it is. I prioritize the physical fitness. Obviously, it has the benefits of the obvious things, but I find for me, stress reduction through physical fitness is a really important thing. Work ethic is also pretty important. I always strive to be the hardest working person in the company. I don't know if I necessarily put in the same number of hours because we have some workhorses in the company, but windows during the day when I want to do certain things, I'm very, very strict with. And I would say additionally, my focus. When I'm spending time with my kids, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about 5 other things at the same time. When I'm in a meeting, it's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Good.
And trying to really make sure that anybody I'm engaging with has 100% of my focus, which is hard to do, because the mind wanders.
Yes.
And it's very easy to get distracted, and all of a sudden you're not checked into a conversation or an engagement that you have.
As CEO, Matt, of FieldEffect, what lessons can MSPs learn from you?
Get used to discomfort. That is the thing. I think early on. So this is my second company. My first company, a couple of years in, getting used to the discomfort and just realizing that is your day to day, and it's okay. That's a big thing. Don't be scared to be wrong. Get used to being wrong. I can't remember where I've heard it, but the ability to change one's mind frequently is a really important aspect of being a CEO, and just accepting that you might have made a bad call, pivot and move on is a really big one, and ditch the ego.
Yeah.
That's probably something
No
that
room for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To humble yourself is golf does that for me, by the way. But what motivates you, Matt?
Hard problems. I love hard problems. Over my career, I couldn't count the number of times I've heard, no, it's too hard, you're not going to be able to do that.
Really?
We hear it all the time, right now, because we're competitors with multi-billion-dollar companies, and our marketing budget would probably, fit in a bowl. And external parties would view what we're trying to do as being something that's too difficult or too challenging, to which I say, bring it on. I really like when somebody says we can't do something or something's too difficult.
So given that motivation, how do you measure success?
Forward momentum, happy customers, happy partners. The whole concept of an infinite game. That's a mindset you need to embrace, and there's no point where you win. It's just always forward momentum. So, are you happy with your top line growth? How's the efficiency of the company look? Are you making strides there? Do you have happy customers? Like that, yeah, that customer feedback piece is really important. And it's not always an adjuster. If we hear something that we missed the mark, it's, we're in a room, we're figuring out what we did wrong and adjusting accordingly. Yeah.
The difference between running the other company and running this new one now is what?
My first company was an intelligence tradecraft company, so we built very cool software and tooling and technology, sold it to Five Eyes intelligence agencies, solved a lot of hard problems there.
Wow.
Yeah, sold that in 2018 to L3 Harris. And prior to selling that, FieldEffect actually used to be a division of that first company. And early on, we wanted to build a solution that worked really well for small to medium businesses. So that's why we've been building for so long. We perceived a really good cybersecurity solution to be one that had to be a holistic technology stack. So it's taken some time, but we're there now.
So Matt, your message to MSPs this week here at IT Nation Secure is what?
If you're looking for simplicity, clarity, and really positive outcomes in the cybersecurity space, ranging from efficacy to commercial success, come talk to us. This is why we're here, and this is the problem we're excited to solve.
Very cool, Matt. I thank you for your time today. Anybody watching or listening, how can they get in touch with you?
FieldEffect.com is the website. On Twitter, LinkedIn, not a spy is my handle, which is meant to be ironic. But all forms of messaging is open, and I'd love to hear from you.
Matt Holland, HOLLAND, of course, on LinkedIn, and of course, go to FieldEffect.com. I thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.